The engine hummed, a low thrum against the insistent beat of Deborah's perfectly manicured nails strumming a frantic rhythm on the leather. Late for her Botox appointment, already running on fumes of barely brewed espresso and simmering resentment. The traffic, a sluggish river of steel and impatience, was the final straw. She'd spent the morning battling emails from disgruntled clients, fielding calls from a perpetually inefficient contractor, and now this. Every car inching forward felt like a personal affront, each red light a blatant insult to her carefully curated schedule. The pressure built, a slow boil threatening to erupt into something spectacularly unpleasant. Her breath hitched, a sharp intake followed by a frustrated sigh. This was it, the tipping point. The red light glared, a malevolent crimson mocking her. Deborah felt a familiar heat rise in her chest, a primal surge of righteous indignation. It wasn't just the traffic, it was the principle of the thing. The sheer audacity of these people, these drivers daring to impede her progress. She gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, the leather creaking under the pressure. A wave of nausea threatened, a bizarre physical manifestation of her mounting frustration. Her carefully applied lipstick felt suddenly heavy, a mask of forced composure cracking at the edges. The world narrowed, focusing solely on the infuriating red glow ahead. And then, the minivan, a rusty, dented behemoth, lumbering forward with the glacial pace of a glacier in July. Its driver, seemingly oblivious to the mounting fury and the luxury SUV behind, took their sweet time, seemingly unaware of the precious seconds they were stealing. Deborah felt a scream building in her throat, a primal scream fueled by caffeine withdrawal, unmet expectations and the crushing weight of a seemingly endless day. Her carefully constructed persona began to crumble, replaced by raw, unfiltered rage. The air thickened with unspoken threats, years of pent-up frustration, carefully suppressed anxieties, and a lifetime of feeling unseen and unheard all coalesced into this single, incandescent moment. The red light felt less like a traffic signal and more like a symbol of everything she found unjust and irritating in the world. Her carefully controlled demeanor fractured, revealing a raw, unfiltered rage she barely recognized. This wasn't just about being late. This was about something far deeper, a simmering resentment that had reached its boiling point. The minivan driver, an elderly woman with a kind face, looked up, confused by the sudden, aggressive honking from the luxury SUV. Deborah's words, a torrent of blistering invective, spilled from her lips like molten lava. They were words that wouldn't have looked out of place in a Shakespearean tragedy, each syllable dripping with disdain and fury. She felt no remorse, no shame, only a burning need to unleash this pent-up fury onto someone, anyone, who dared to obstruct her path. Other drivers watched, some with amused detachment, others with a mixture of fear and pity. The intersection became a stage, and Deborah, the unwitting actress, playing out a scene of breathtaking, albeit socially unacceptable, fury. Her tirade continued, fueled by adrenaline and a desperate need to reclaim some semblance of control in a life that felt increasingly out of her grasp. The elderly woman in the minivan, initially bewildered, now looked genuinely frightened. The rant reached its crescendo, a symphony of exasperated shouts, furious pronouncements, and dramatic pronouncements. Each word a weapon, each gesture a calculated display of dominance. The elderly woman in the minivan visibly cowered, eyes wide with fear. Deborah, blinded by her own rage, failed to see the terror etched on the older woman's face. The intensity of the moment consumed her completely. Then, silence. The red light turned green, the flow of traffic resumed its relentless march. Deborah slumped back, the adrenaline draining away, leaving behind a hollow ache. The rage dissipated, replaced by a crushing wave of exhaustion and self-awareness. The silence was deafening, amplifying the weight of her actions. The red light that had triggered her outburst was now a distant memory, replaced by a profound sense of regret. The image in the rearview mirror showed a woman whose carefully constructed facade had been stripped bare, revealing the raw vulnerability beneath. The Botox appointment, once the all-consuming goal, now seemed trivial, insignificant. Deborah was left with the bitter taste of regret and the lingering weight of a moment she couldn't undo, a moment that exposed the darkness lurking beneath a perfectly manicured exterior. The road stretched ahead, a long and winding path toward self-reflection and, perhaps, redemption. The journey ahead was long. She had to confront not just the traffic, but the deeper issues that lay beneath the surface, the unspoken anxieties and resentments that had driven her to this explosive outburst. The red light incident served as a stark reminder that anger, left unchecked, can consume and destroy. The road ahead held both challenges and opportunities, a chance to learn from her mistakes and move forward. The journey to self-understanding had begun.